Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I posted my last video. I've been so busy at work, but as you can see behind me, I purchased a new 2024 BMW R1250 RT motorcycle. In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how I route plan my rides on an application called REVER, which many of you might be familiar with. And then I'll walk through how I can export the GPX file from the REVER app and then import them into the BMW Motorad application. And so I can project that on the TFT screen on the R1250 RT. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video and leave some comments if there's any questions you have or just really any comments. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, welcome to another YouTube video. This is going to be more of an educational video, kind of like a DIY. And in this video, I'll show you how to plan motorcycle rides using the REVER app, then export the route to a GPX file, and then import it into your BMW Motorad application. In this case, we'll be doing it on my iOS device. And then I'll also demonstrate connecting the app to your R1250 RT TFT screen and kicking off the navigation of this route that we're planning. And so what I'd like to do is kind of point out that we're in the REVER application and this is their website. I will note that in order to walk through the steps that I'm going to show here, you need a paid subscription to the REVER app because it's going to require you to plan a route and then to export the GPX file. Now, as you notice, we're looking at an area called Raleigh, North Carolina, and this is where I live. I live near Raleigh, North Carolina. So how I typically like starting my route planning is kind of looking at the map view. I have an idea of what I want to do for a motorcycle ride. And in this case, I'm going to probably keep this ride to around 150 miles. It's going to be a loop ride. So where we start is going to also be where we're going to wind up ending our ride. And what I want to do is looking at this map and giving a visual is really having a ride, motorcycle ride, that's going to kind of take us around this lake here, which is called Falls Lake, and then circle back down here into another lake called Jordan Lake, and then possibly in this town here called Fuquay Varina, maybe stop off and get some lunch. I know of a nice pizzeria there and get a nice slice of pizza. And then after that, we'll be riding kind of around here through a town called Clayton, into a town called Wendell. And there's a coffee shop in Wendell. Thinking about on this ride, stopping there for a cup of coffee, and then finally looping back. And so that's kind of in my mind what I want to start planning. Now, how do I start planning this with the REVER app? Okay, well, the first thing is I want to point out that REVER has a few different routing options. Right now you can see here we're on AB routing, which is giving us the fastest way point to point. There's a few different options you can take with REVER. You need a paid subscription to get these other two, and that's why it says Pro. So first of all, I wanted to point that out. But for what we're doing today, we're going to do AB routing, and it's going to be the fastest route from point A to point B. Also, on the route options, let's open this up. What I like to do is I'm going to say, hey, let's avoid highways and let's avoid ferries and let's try to avoid tolls. That's always a good thing. Okay. Now, to start off with, there's a gas station that is in the area where I live that I normally start my motorcycle rides, and it is a Sheetz gas station that we have here, and the address is 4801 Thornton Road, and again, that's in Raleigh, North Carolina. And you can see as we're typing it up, the REVER app is automatically finding the closest address to what we're typing in. And you can see here, it's popping up from the REVER app, and I'm just gonna click on it. Now notice as soon as we added that, it dropped in a waypoint with an S meaning start, right? So that's our starting waypoint. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're saying here, and we're gonna zoom in. That's one of the things I like kind of doing now. Zooming in and saying, okay, the waypoint is right over, this is the gas station, right? You can see here, it's 801. That's the address off of Thornton Road. And in our route, I'm gonna zoom back out for us. And what I like doing is kind of looking at the different roads that we take. All these color lines you'll see is the REVER application marks different roads. It kind of grades or rates the roads based on, you know, whether they're complicated or not, or if it's a good road to ride on. So that's one of the things I like about the REVER app. In our case, what we're going to do is we're going to take this road here called Durant Road, and we'll look to run Durant Road all the way to this road here called Six Forks. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just say we're gonna drop another waypoint here on Durant Road, and we do that by just clicking the mouse, and you can see here it added that waypoint. And right now it's gonna, and each time it's gonna give us the distance of the ride, the estimated time, and the number of waypoints. Okay. All right, so let's scroll back out, and we're going to take Durant Road all the way up to this road here called Six Forks Road. And then what I'll do is kind of right near where the two roads meet, I mean kind of like right over here, let's see, right here where the two roads meet, we're going to drop another waypoint by clicking the mouse, and there we go. All right, now let's start planning a ride. So you figure we'll take the Six Forks Road all the way up. And how does it look? It looks like we're going to make a left here, still on Six Forks. So how about this? We'll stay on Six Forks. I'll drop another waypoint over this bridge here for us. And you can see this dark black line is painting the route that we're taking. Okay. And then you see from Six Forks, it turns into New Light Road, and that's fine. And let me kind of zoom out and see what we're looking at. See a lot of nice squiggly lines. So let's just say that we're gonna take New Light Road, and I'll drop a waypoint here. And you notice I like dropping in a lot of waypoints, especially where we're doing A/B routing. So you know, it's gonna look for the quickest way to get from point A to point B. And also notice each of the waypoints has a number system to it. Number 1, number 2, number 3, right? And F will always be the final waypoint. Right? Okay, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to make a left turn here on Weaver Trail Road. You can see here. So what I'll do is I'll drop another waypoint here on Weaver Trail Road, and we can basically drop it anywhere, right? So let's stay on Weaver Trail Road, and how about over here? I'll drop a waypoint right on this bridge, turns into Fish Dam Road. All right, zoom back out. Let's take a look at what this route looks like so far. Okay, so we're starting at that gas station, Durant Road, Six Forks, Weaver Trail, Fish Dam Road. Okay, looks good so far. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to say to myself, you know what, after we get off here, what really is important to me is finding a way to get to this Jordan Lake here, right? And I know there's a nice road, if I kind of start zooming in, right? There's a nice road over here called Farrington Mill Road. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to drop my next waypoint here, Farrington Point Road. And you can see here, it just dropped that waypoint. And let's just see if this route is nice, kind of where our last waypoint was. So from waypoint 5 here, this route is taking us pretty much all the way down here on Sharon Road. Okay, looks good. It's avoiding highways, exactly what I wanted. Avoiding tolls, good. All right, we're going to stick with this. And if I wanted to change it, I certainly could. If I really wanted to change it, I could change up the route. But for now, let's just keep this. Okay. Next, we're going to do is we're going to kind of cross this Jordan Lake area here, and kind of I want to come down this road somewhat. And so what I'll do is I'm going to come down here, and I think I'll make a left to this P Ridge Road. So I'm going to drop my next waypoint right around here. We'll do that. And let me zoom back out and take another look, make sure that it's taking, yep, looks like it's taking the route that I was interested in. Perfect. All right, so the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to kind of come all the way down. And what I want to do is, remember, I want to kind of circle around here and kind of have lunch in this area here called Firkway Marina. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of come down here, and let's see, in Firkway Arena. Let me kind of zoom in here. Remember I said there was a pizzeria that I wanted to have lunch at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually add a waypoint. You see I clicked on add stop, and I copied and pasted the address of where I want to go. And it's right here, 500 East Broad Street. And you notice it dropped the, basically pizzeria is going to be right around here on East Broad Street, and it dropped that waypoint. And now you notice how it's going to circle me around through this Route 42, right, heading east through this town called Duncan. All right, and we'll have lunch there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm looking at the map. Let me zoom back out. And you can see here my idea for this ride is to kind of come around here to this town called Clayton, and then come up to this town called Wendell, maybe stop and get a cup of coffee there. All right. And so what I'm going to now do is look at some of these nice back roads. So let me zoom in on this town called Clayton, and I'm going to drop my next waypoint on this covered bridge road. Okay. Now I know this whole area. This is kind of all rural, very nice farmland, right? A lot of new development, but used to be all farmland. So you can see here how I dropped that waypoint. And so basically we're going to be taking Route 42 all the way across pretty much to Clayton. All right, now from this waypoint here, we're going to swing around, and we are going to, we want to kind of swing around over here, and let's kind of zoom in on these back roads. I'm going to come down here to Main Street, and this is where, let's see, this is kind of where we're going to be, right off of Main Street. Let's see, you can see these addresses. This is kind of what I'm looking at. And then we'll just drop a, make sure we get the right. Okay, so we'll come right here, and we'll drop right here, 41. See that address? I'm going to drop a waypoint right there. And now let's see how the route is going to take us. It looks like from Clayton, we're going to come around. Perfect. All back roads. And then finally what we'll do is we'll circle around. I'm going to come up here, and let's say we want to take this road here called Mitchell Mill Road. I'll drop a waypoint on Mitchell Mill. So after we have coffee in the coffee shop in downtown Wendell, we're going to be heading back, finishing up our ride. Again, all back roads, avoiding highways and heavy traffic. And then lastly, what we're going to do is let's come around here, and I'm going to drop my last waypoint kind of right near the gas station. So what I'll do is, let's see if I can drop it right here. And you see that? It just looped us around, and that's our ride. So, yep, it's a loop ride. I wanted to do around 150 miles. In this case, we have 140. Looks like it's a little over 3.5 hours of riding time. Perfect. Okay, the next thing we do is we're going to save this ride. So let me hit save. And I'll just put a name for this ride. So let me call this, and I like putting the number of the miles in there. We can select the date. So today's March 16th, 2025. And let's just say we want to do this ride next Saturday. So I can just click on a date, choose our vehicles. You have the option here. Say we're going to use the RT, BMW RT. Surface is going to be paved road. And from there, I'm just going to save it. And that is a good demonstration on how we created the route in the REVER application. Now, once we created the route in the REVER app, you can see here what the information on the app, right? And also notice that we have the visual of the map, right? You can see here, this is the loop ride that we planned and we just created. The second step in this process is to, how do I export this? Now we can always use the REVER application if we wanted to actually do the routing for us. But My goal with these videos is to take this route that we created in REVER, export it into the BMW Motorad application. So how do we do this exporting? And you can see here there's a few ways to get to export. One is they have this export button here. The second is on top of each ride, I can come here and also say, export to GPX file. And so either way, right, in this case, I'll just do export to GPX file. And notice there's a few different options where we can export from. I guess the format kind of changes depending upon the different systems we're using, okay? In our case, when using the BMW Motorad application that's on your smartphone, we're going to come down here and we're going to select BMW option, okay? So we're going to download a GPX file and select this BMW option. And what you'll notice at this point is it's going to actually save the file. And that's what we're going to do once it's saved. And in this case, it's saving it to my local computer. Now, once the route is saved on the local computer, then we're going to talk about how to get it and import it into the Motorad app. And there we go. You can see here, we just exported it. It's this first GPX file called 140. It's the name of the ride. And so, it exported it to my downloads folder on my computer. And next what we're going to do is we're going to get this file and import it into my Motorad app. Okay, the next step in this process is I'm going to email this GPX file from my local computer. I'm going to email it to myself. I'm doing that on my computer right now because this is where I'm doing my planning. The idea here is that when I have my iPhone, which I am using the BMW Motorad app on as well, I'm going to be able to open up this email and I'll be able to save this GPX file to my local phone. And again, how I'm getting this file from my computer to my phone is I'm emailing this to myself. And so you can see here, I put in a description, an email, and this is the GPX file that we exported from the REVER application, okay? And so I'm just going to hit send. Now the next step in our process is to save the GPX file to the iPhone, which is also going to be running our BMW Motorad application. So you can see here, we have the attachment in the email. I am on my iPhone and I'm going to click on the attachment, which is the GPX file. And again, notice in the GPX file, it's kind of pointing out information to us about who the creator of this file was. And you can see here it says REVER, the REVER application. It also has all the GPX coordinate information. You can see all the latitude and longitude information as well. And what we're going to do is in the bottom left-hand corner, we're going to click on that little icon. It looks like a send icon, but when we click on it, there's going to be options, and the option we're going to choose is going to be Save to Files. So let's choose Save to Files, and it's going to save it to our iDrive. And so I'll just hit Save. And again, this is on the iOS application, so it's assuming we have iDrive. Now we've saved it. We're going to hit Done at this point, and that's it. We've saved the file to the local phone. Next, we're going to import the GPX file into the BMW Motorad application. Okay, now we are at the next step, which is going to be to import the GPX file from my iPhone into the BMW Motorad application. The first thing I want to do is verify the file was successfully saved to my phone, and I do that by clicking on Files, and there we see it. That's the application, and it's right there. Excuse me, that's the file. Raleigh, North Carolina Loop 140, that's the GPX file, and it's on the phone. All right, let me close the Files app. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the BMW Motorad application. You can see the icon says Make Life a Ride. Click on that. Once this opens, notice on the bottom there's these three visual icons. The icon all the way to the left, we're going to click on that, and this is where our rides are, but also this is where we can import the GPX files too. And in this case, notice I've already imported two routes. And to import the route we just created together, I'm going to click on import. You can see here it automatically sees the GPX file. Click on it, hit open, and then it's going to start importing the GPX file. Now notice that there's two actual routes that it is bringing up. I'm not sure exactly why it's bringing up two routes, but what I do know is that the second route on the bottom that has 5,469 points is typically the route that to choose to match the exact route we planned in REVER. And so what I'm going to do here is deselect the first route and just keep that bottom route that we want. And notice that it says import one of two, and I'm going to click the import button at this point. Let that walk through, and then notice it just added the route for us that we just created right there on top. You see that? Raleigh, North Carolina Loop 140. And at this point, the route is imported into the BMW Motorad application. Okay, now we're going to connect the BMW Motorad application from my phone to the BMW's navigation system. We're going to launch the route that we just imported and have that project the map on the system. The first thing I like to do is come in here on my phone. You can see it says the make a ride. That's the BMW Motorad app. So we're gonna kind of select that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the not recorded rides, but imported rides. And I'm going to click on the ride that we just imported. You can see right there. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click go. All right. And I'm going to say, you can see here, it's some options to start the point for your route. So basically it's saying that the starting point is not matching my current location. That's fine. I'm going to say go to start point. Okay. All right. So it's calculating the route. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is power on the BMW, right? Power on the system. Now, I'm going to navigate in the TFT screen to navigation. And what we should see is at some point, the iPhone should prompt to join the TFT screen or the BMW's navigation system. So let's give that, sometimes it takes a minute, but it will come up. There we go, it highlighted, synchronizing. Starting map mode. There we go, join. So the phone needs to join the BMW's navigation system, which has its own Wi-Fi network. And we're going to say join. And at this point, the map should start displaying. Let's see. Starting map mode. See that on the phone? And here we go.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left onto Wendell Falls Parkway.
Perfect. So you heard that. Now, not only this navigation, but if I take this wonder wheel and move it to the left, there we go. You can see here we have the whole, the whole map display. Right now it's in split window, right? But you can see here we have the whole map display. And if we zoom out, this is the route that we that we created. So you can see that whole route, right? Let's see if I can get a better view for you. There you go. As we're zooming, there we go. That's the loop. This is the loop route that we created, okay? And so it's actually taken us from our start point where we are right now to the Sheetz gas station where when we did the planning, we said start from there, okay? So again, this is a good example of how we could create routes in the REVER application and then export the GPX file, then import them into the Motorad application on our smartphones, in this case, our iPhone, and then connect the iPhone to the navigation system on the BMW. And now ultimately we have our route. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I know it's been a long video, but it seems it's like a DIY video for route planning. Also DIY for a method to get the routes into and using the Motorad app and getting it into the application. All right. Everyone have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one.